Welcome to Mantra Breathing. We're so happy to have all of you with us. It's a wonderful day here in Colorado. We're at Babaji's ashram out nearby, and it's beautiful during Navratri, the Divine Mother Festival. So today I wanted to talk about the Holy Instant. And the Holy Instant, you would think that it's time, an instant is a moment in time, but what it really is it's a moment outside of time. It's like where you let go of time, you let go of future, past, and you're just totally in the present, and you're having this almost a communion with the divine, and you're saying basically, I'm placing the future in the hands of the divine. I don't have to worry about the future. And I totally forgive the past. I have no regrets about anything that happened in the past. Everything was just a lesson that I was supposed to learn and let go. And any mistakes I made, I correct them now. I forgive myself for any mistakes from my past. I forgive any others who made mistakes towards me. So you do this like quick forgiveness, kind of an inventory of your past and quick forgiveness. And then you let go of any worry about the future. You place the future in the hands of God. And that puts you in the present moment. And that's what the Course would call the Holy Instant. So we want to trust in that. We want to trust that there's a lot of power, there's a lot of guidance, there's a lot of providence in that holy instant, and there's a lot of peace in that holy instant. The very last lesson in the Course in Miracles, it's just a short little prayer, and it's so beautiful. It says, "This holy instant would I give to you," meaning the Christ or God or whoever you see, could be Shiva, Krishna, whoever is your deity of guidance. You say, "This holy instant would I give to you, be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace." And, could be Moses. It doesn't matter. Just some being that you hold in high regard with their divine connection, or it could just be God himself or the Divine Mother herself. You could put that in that place. "This holy instant would I give to you, be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace." Yeah, and you could put the Holy Spirit in there too. Your divine energy that's already in you. That's what's giving you the guidance. So I wanted to read this section in the Course in Miracles. It's called The Holy Instant, chapter 15. Now, some of this is pretty heavy, but we have to get through. Like there's the ego's use of time, and there's your higher self or your divine self's use of time. And the holy instant would be your divine self's use of time. This is called the holy instant, the two uses of time. Can you imagine what it means to have no cares, no worries, no anxieties, but merely to be perfectly calm and quiet all the time? Yet that is what time is for, to learn just that and nothing more. God's teacher cannot be satisfied with his teaching until it constitutes all your learning. He has not fulfilled his teaching function until you have become such a consistent learner that you learn only of him. That would be perfect happiness, right? When it says him, that means a state of perfect happiness, perfect joy, no cares, no worries, no anxieties, perfectly calm and quiet all the time. If you're in that state, then you're also in the state of the Holy Masters. When this has happened, you will no longer need a teacher or time in which to learn, because you're in the heaven state. One source of perceived discouragement from which you may suffer is your belief that this takes time and that the results of the Holy Spirit's teaching are far in the future. This is not so, for the Holy Spirit uses time in his own way, and it is not bound by it. Time is his friend in teaching. It does not waste him as it does you. And all the waste that time seems to bring with it is due to your identification with the ego, which uses time to support its belief in destruction. Well, that would be fear, guilt, and anger. Fear, guilt, and anger is of the ego, and that brings problems and conflicts and destruction. The ego, like the Holy Spirit, uses time to convince you of the inevitability of the goal and the end of its teaching. To the ego, the goal is death, which is its end. But to the Holy Spirit, the goal is life, which has no end. So we're really talking about immortality here and life versus death. The ego ends in death. The Holy Spirit, or your true self, ends in immortal life. The ego is an ally of time, but not a friend. For it is as mistrustful of death as it is of life. What it wants for you, it cannot tolerate. The ego wants you dead, but not itself. The outcome of its strained religion must therefore be the conviction that it can pursue you beyond the grave. And out of its unwillingness for you to find peace, even in death, it offers you immortality in hell. It speaks to you of heaven, but assures you that heaven is not for you. How can the guilty hope for heaven? So the ego uses time to prove that you're afraid, prove that you're guilty, and make you angry. And then those things eventually make you sick, and then you die. And you're in a state of sorrow, not joy. So that's the ego's use of time. The nightmares of the fear is associated with it. The ego teaches that hell is in the future, for this is what all its teaching is directed to. Hell is its goal. For although the ego aims at death and dissolution as an end, it does not believe in it. The goal of death, which it craves for you, leaves it unsatisfied. No one who follows the ego's teaching is without fear of death. Yet if death were thought of merely as an end to pain, would it be feared? We have seen this strange paradox in the ego's thought system before, but never so clearly as here. For the ego must seem to keep fear from you to hold your allegiance, yet it must engender fear in order to maintain itself. Again, the ego tries, and all too frequently succeeds in doing both, by using dissociation for holding its contradictory aims together so that they seem to be reconciled. The ego teaches thus: death is the end as far as hope of heaven goes, yet because you and the ego cannot be separated, and because it cannot conceive of its own death, it will pursue you still, because guilt is eternal. Such is the ego's version of immortality, and it is this the ego's version of time supports. The ego teaches that heaven is here now because the future is hell, and when it attacks so savagely that it tries to take the life of someone who thinks it's the only voice, it speaks of hell even to him, for it tells him hell is here as well, and bids him leap from hell into oblivion. The only time the ego allows anyone to look upon with equanimity is the past, and even there, its only value is that it is no more. So it's just painting this picture of the ego's use of time. It says it's very despairing and terrifying. And it's built on the belief that guilt must lead to hell and death, and that your future is going to only bring suffering. No one who considers himself as deserving of hell can believe that punishment will end in peace. So that's the ego. But now here's the holy instant. This is what we have to trust in, and this is what we need to make contact with in this mantra breathe. The Holy Spirit teaches thus: there is no hell. Hell is only what the ego has made of the present. The belief in hell is what prevents you from understanding the present because you are afraid of it. The Holy Spirit leads steadily to heaven as the ego drives to hell. For the Holy Spirit, who knows only the present, uses it to undo the fear by which the ego would make the present useless. There is no escape from fear in the ego's use of time, for time, according to its teaching, is nothing but a teaching device for compounding guilt. The Holy Spirit would undo all of this now. Fear is not of the present, but only of the past and the future, which do not exist. There is no fear in the present, in the holy instant. When each instant stands clear and separated from the past, without its shadow reaching out into the future. Each instant is a clean, untarnished birth in which the Son of God emerges from the past into the present. This lesson takes no time. It has taken time to misguide you so completely, but it takes no time at all to be what you are. Begin to practice the Holy Spirit's use of time as a teaching aid to happiness and peace. So here we go. Let's practice this. Take this very instant now, right now, we're all breathing. Take this very instant now and think of it as all there is of time. Nothing can reach you here out of the past. And it is here that you are completely absolved, completely free, and holy without condemnation. From this holy instant, wherein holiness was born again, you will go forth in time without fear and with no sense of change with time. Time is inconceivable without change, yet holiness does not change. Learn from this instant more than merely that hell does not exist. In this redeeming instant lies heaven. So that's what it's saying. Heaven is here now, in this instant. And we can have an experience of that. And you're totally absolved of any mistakes you made from the past. They can touch you not. You're totally forgiven. You forgive yourself. You forgive others. You forgive everyone completely, mostly yourself or anything that you made a mistake, you didn't know, you weren't aware. So what? It's gone. Heaven is here now. For the birth into the holy present is salvation from change. Change is an illusion taught by those who cannot see themselves as guiltless. There is no change in heaven because there is no change in God. In the holy instant in which you see yourself as bright with freedom, you will remember God. For remembering Him is to remember freedom. Okay, so let's practice giving our mind over to the Holy Spirit in this holy instant. How long is an instant? Could you not give so short a time to the Holy Spirit for your liberation? He asks no more, for He has no need of more. It takes far longer to teach you to be willing to give Him this instant than for Him to use this tiny instant to offer you the whole of heaven. In exchange for this instant, he stands ready to give you the remembrance of eternity, which would be heaven, which would be your God-created self, which would be the truth. When Babaji talks about truth, simplicity, love, and service, that would be the same thing. Oh, and here's a good point. You will never give this holy instant to the Holy Spirit on behalf of your release while you are unwilling to give it to your brothers on behalf of theirs. All right, so just do a little inventory in your mind. Is there anybody you're still holding grievances toward? Is there anybody you want to hold outside of the door to heaven? Let's give them the holy instant as well. For the instant of holiness is shared and cannot be yours alone. Remember then, when you are tempted to attack a brother, that his instant of release is yours. Miracles are the instants of release you offer and will receive. They attest to your willingness to be released and to offer time to the Holy Spirit for his use of it. How long is an instant? It is as short for your brother as it is for you. Practice giving this blessed instant of freedom to all who are enslaved by time, and thus make their time their friend for them. The Holy Spirit gives their blessed instant to you through your giving it. As you give it, he offers it to you. Don't be unwilling to give what you would receive. So we're going to give the holy instant to others, and in the giving of it, we receive it. We're giving them total forgiveness for any mistakes they made, any mistakes we see that they made. Maybe they did them to us and we felt hurt, but we're going to let all of that go. We're going to give them the holy instant so we can receive it. In the crystal cleanness of the release you give is your instantaneous escape from guilt. You must be holy if you offer holiness. Okay, so some of you had an intention today to give up anger. So I would say, let's broaden that. We're going to give up all fear, all anger, all guilt, all resentment, all past regrets, all attack thoughts. We're going to offer that up to the holy instant to be cleansed in this breathe. And it doesn't matter what you could see them as the devil themselves, but you're still going to give them the holy instant. You're going to extend to them the holy instant, total forgiveness so that you can receive it. How long is this instant? As long as it takes to reestablish perfect sanity, perfect peace, and perfect love for everyone, for God and for yourself. As long as it takes to remember immortality and your immortal creations who share it with you. As long as it takes to exchange hell for heaven, long enough to transcend all of the ego's making and ascend into your Father. So this mantra breathing is an ascension. It's an ascension into our true self. It's an ascension into our relationship with our Creator, the Divine Father, the Divine Mother, Divine Child is one. It's our ascension into that holiness. Time is your friend if you leave it to the Holy Spirit to use. Now, the Holy Spirit's just that energy in you that knows the truth. It's just an energy. It's not anything mystical. It's just an energy of truth, an energy of your true will that is inside of you. It's operating. It's always available. You can call on it any time. Time is your friend if you leave it to the Holy Spirit to use. He needs but very little to restore God's whole power to you. He who transcends time for you understands what time is for. Holiness lies not in time, but in eternity. There never was an instant in which God's Son could lose his purity. His changeless state is beyond time, for his purity remains forever beyond attack and without variability. Time stands still in his holiness and changes not. And so it's no longer time at all, for caught in the single instant of the eternal sanctity of God's creation, it is transformed into forever. Give the eternal instant, that eternity may be remembered for you in that shining instant of perfect release. So this is what this mantra breathe today is about. It's about perfect release. We're trusting the holy instant to take away any disorder, any fear, any anger, any guilt we were experiencing before this mantra breathe. We're going to ask the Holy Spirit to take that out of us. We're giving it and we're receiving it. We're letting all other brothers and sisters off the hook. And in doing that, we're letting ourselves off the hook. We're extending the forgiveness and we're receiving it. And we're receiving it in the holy instant. And this says, offer the miracle of the holy instant through the Holy Spirit and leave his giving it to you, to him. Okay, so we're going to give the Holy Spirit the miracle of this holy instant, and then we're going to receive it, and the Holy Spirit's going to give it, and we're leaving it up to the Holy Spirit to give it to us in this breathe. So Bole Baba Ki Jai. We're going to start the mantras now, and it's going to be very powerful.
And Babaji says the formula for happiness is love, truth, simplicity, and service to mankind, which is karma yoga. He says, if you are engaged in doing good deeds and go on doing good acts, you will have good sleep, good appetite, and bad thoughts will not cross your mind. And he said, without karma yoga, it's not possible to progress in life. Karma yoga is essential for a spiritual purification. An inactive man is a dead man. Only through karma yoga can you advance in your life and your heart becomes purified and your thinking will be good. So I recommend for your karma yoga this week, you sponsor a new person to come next week to mantra breathing. And then somebody that has never experienced it will be very grateful to you and you'll have good karma. Karma yoga brings success to a person. So think about it. And if you want to share anything from this session, you can write to me, Sandra@sandraray.com. Some of you might want to be quiet and still lie there, and that's fine. So we'll see you next week, and we'll be back in Washington.
It was a holy instant to have you here. And just remember about the holy instant, you're totally free of any past and any fear of the future. You're totally absolved of any mistakes you made, and you're extending that to others. And in the giving of the holy instant to others, you have it yourself. So it's in the giving that we receive it. So make this a week of giving holy instants and report back to us next week your main holy instant that you experienced this week. So wonderful to have you. God bless you. Thank you for coming. And write us, Sandra@sandraray.com. It's SONDRA @sandraray.com. And we will answer anything you want. We're totally here for you during the week. So God bless. Have a good weekend. Have a good Sunday. All right. We'll see you next week. Bye now.